Hello, and welcome to the 2020 Umoja Celebration hosted by the Center for Equity and Inclusion at the University of Washington, Tacoma. I'm Dr. Jimmy McCarty. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I'm the director of the center. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are honored to have you, and we are proud of all that our graduates have accomplished, and we're excited to celebrate them tonight. But before we get to that, we want to take a moment to honor the land that we're on and those who have tended to it over the years by offering a land acknowledgement. We recognize that all of us at UW Tacoma learn, live, and work on or near the ancestral homeland of the Coast Salish people. In particular, our campus is situated on the traditional territory of the Puyallup. And since we're gathered virtually, we also want to acknowledge the lands of the Muckleshoot, Nisqually, Suquamish, Duwamish, and all other traditional lands we may be on tonight. As people on these occupied territories, we have a responsibility to acknowledge the land, the ancestors who cared for this land since time immemorial, and all of our indigenous connections today. We also have the responsibility to acknowledge the histories of dispossession and forced removal that have allowed for the growth and survival of this nation and of this institution. And in light of this history, let us take active efforts together to partner with our indigenous community members and neighbors to seek justice as we continue our work together as a community of learners, leaders, and educators. And in the spirit of acknowledging those who have come before us, we want to acknowledge that we are living in a time of national political protests in response to the unjust killing of Black citizens of our country. We want to honor those who have died and have their memories with us this evening. I will say their names and we will then have a moment of silence. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Tony McDade, George Floyd, and Manny Ellis. Let us have a moment of silence. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce our Assistant Chancellor for Equity and Inclusion, Dr. James McShay, who will share a few opening remarks. Dr. McShay, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. McCarty. Good evening, everyone. And on behalf of the Center for Equity and Inclusion at the University of Washington, Tacoma, we welcome you to the third annual Umoja Celebration. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. As Dr. McCarty mentioned, my name is Dr. James McShay. I go by he, him, his pronouns, and I serve as the Assistant Chancellor for Equity and Inclusion at UWT. And I am delighted to be here with you, albeit virtually, to congratulate you on your awe-inspiring accomplishments. I want to acknowledge that we are holding this virtual gathering during a time that finds us exhausted, full of hurt, anguish, searching for answers, and demanding justice. Justice from our system of law enforcement and every other social institution that since the formation of our country has too often underserved Black and Brown communities, members of our LGBTQ community, and those from other minoritized backgrounds. But even in the midst of these times, which bear down on us so heavily, we want to take this moment, this gathering, to find joy and comfort in being surrounded by our community. A community that's had your back, that stood alongside of you every step of your journey at UWT. When I say community, I'm talking about your families, your loved ones, friends, mentors, and all of those who have supported you on your way to reach this special milestone. Without their love, encouragement, daily affirmations, and support, we would not be able to gather here this evening to celebrate this graduation. Umoja was created to not only recognize the successful educational journey that you've completed at UWT, but to also honor the legacy of those whose shoulders you stand on and whose courage, conviction, and desire for you to reach greatness paved the way for you to be here today. Umoja in Swahili means unity, and more specifically, to maintain unity within our community. And so the theme for our program tonight is moving forward in strength and unity. This theme has special significance for us right now, particularly as we see the massive global unrest comprised of cross-racial and intergenerational communities calling for an end to racial injustice in the US and around the world. It reminds us that in order for us to move forward in strength and unity, we have to be fearless, even when we're fearful, to keep dreaming big, to challenge the status quo, and to believe in the power of our own agency, and most of all, to believe in the power of our community. These times may feel uncertain and painful, but as Audre Lorde says, when I dare to be powerful, to use the strength and service to my vision, then it becomes less important whether or not I'm afraid. To me, this is our Umoja. With that said, again, welcome. And to our graduates, we look forward to sharing your many successes in the years to come. You are our present and our future. Congratulations, class of 2020, and we wish you all of the best that this next stage of life has to offer you. So now, one of my other tasks this evening is to introduce the MCs for tonight's program. They are two amazing colleagues who work in the Center for Equity and Inclusion. They are Nedrolani Mailo and Lavon Williams. It gives me great pleasure to turn the program over to them.
Thank you, Dr. McShay. My name is Lavon Williams. I go by he, him pronouns. I am the Student Retention and Community Development Specialist for the Center for Equity and Inclusion.
Hey everyone, my name is Nedrolani Mailo. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Program Support Supervisor for the CEI. We are your MCs for Umoja Celebration tonight. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Umoja is one of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Umoja is a Swahili word meaning unity. The Umoja celebration is a time to gather, rejoice in our collective accomplishments, reflect on our experiences, and recommit ourselves to our ancestors, friends, family, and community. Umoja highlights the strength of our communities, the power of our unity, and energize us to work for change within our world and ourselves.
Now, as Dr. James just mentioned, this is our 3rd annual Umoja celebration, and the theme for Umoja is moving forward in strength and unity. So this event will honor the diverse student populations graduating from the University of Washington, Tacoma, as well as those communities of support who have traveled with them along the way. The Umoja celebration is open to all graduating students, staff and faculty, community members, and friends of our graduates. We welcome you all. We recognize the importance of celebrating our students who come from historically underrepresented and marginalized backgrounds, including, but not limited to, students of color, Indigenous students, LGBTQIA, first generation, veteran students, graduate students, disabled, formerly incarcerated students, adult learners, students with children, undocumented, documented, and other student populations. Now, before we get into our program, we want to give you all a brief overview of what to expect. We'll be opening up our program with a couple of local artist performances,
as well as the Equity and Inclusion Lifetime Achievement Award.
And then we'll have an opportunity to recognize our graduating CEI student staff.
We'll hear from our very own keynote speaker, Stefan Harris, with the recognition of our graduating class of 2020.
And then we'll have an opportunity for you all to socialize with each other via Zoom. We have breakout rooms available for you all on the main website of where you all got this link at. So join in at the end of our program for that. So we'll go ahead and get started with our first 2 performances of the night. Our first performance is brought to you by Raylin Wu. Raylin Wu is a 3rd-year undergraduate student majoring in writing studies. This is her 2nd year working at the Center for Equity and Inclusion. And she's enjoyed supporting students and staff in any way she can. She rediscovered poetry a few years ago, and when she started her major in creative writing and enjoys writing as a form of expression. It's been a pleasure working with you, Raylin, and we are so proud of you. After that, we will have our second performance by Rocky Sandoval. With over a decade worth under his belt, this Tacoma, Washington native and UWT graduate, Rocky Sandoval, has been on the cusp of a major breakthrough. After making his way from the underground to the mainstream R&B hip hop music scene in the Pacific Northwest, his smooth, soulful pop vocals, versatile writing style, and electrifying live show have primed him to be one of the best new artists in the industry. Previous stints include stops on American Idol, MTV's Making the Band, and The Voice. Since 2010, he released 2 indie albums, multiple mixtapes, and countless singles on all major music outlets. Through his own company, Baguio City Music Box, he is currently releasing a brand new single every month for 2020, with the first 5 singles generating almost 500,000 streams on all digital musical platforms. So without further ado, here is Raylan Wu, followed by Rocky Sandoval.
Hello everyone, my name is Raylan. Some of my friends call me Lil Ray the Poet, which is like a performance name that some of my friends at the CEI created for me. And I just want to say congratulations to all the seniors who are graduating this year. I really wish I could be there and celebrate this moment with you all in person, but I feel incredibly honored to have the opportunity to share a few of my poems with you all today. These 2 poems are particularly meaningful to me because they are about identity, so I hope you all enjoy. This first poem is called Peaceful Ripple. They label me as shy, a tag I cannot easily cut off, even with the sharpest pair of scissors in my hand. The word brings with it a loaded package full of misunderstandings. They believe I am only silent, but I am waiting to disclose to the right group of people, or to be more specific, the right person, where I get their undivided attention knowing they have mine in return, without my voice drowning out in a roaring ocean swarmed with crowded people. At a social event, streams of people flood downstream towards the center of commotion. As I go upstream in the opposite way, to find one person who I can reside with, clinging to their firm and reassuring arm through the chaos of the blinding lights, blasting music, and boisterous chatter. Friendship is something I do not ignore because it is difficult to grasp, like a bar of soap that slips out of hand with a lack of control. It is difficult to grasp, so when they think I choose to put myself away, alone in the corner, like an unwanted joker, in a pool of playing cards. In reality, I am an introvert. I am not a quiet goldfish peering out into the world through the watery lens of a blurry glass window, but I live in it too. Even though I prefer to thread through a tranquil body of water, I recognize the power in my voice and acknowledge its existence to express my desires, knowing fully that its wave does not need to crash the loudest upon the shore to be heard. Its peaceful ripple, leaving trails of bubbles behind, are enough to be visible. So do not let the false label make you think otherwise. The second poem is called Complete. A young Asian man speaks in Chinese. I don't understand a word. I don't see who he's talking to. I don't turn around until I realize that he is talking to me. I confess that I do not have a complete understanding of the language. But then he looks at me as if I were a puzzle. My straight black hair, soft brown skin, and dark eyes are the pieces fitting into place. But without full comprehension of the language, he sees me as missing the last piece. They try to read my appearance like the cover of a book, which often gives off the stamp impression that I'm not from here. Even though it's beaten into our minds many times not to judge, like that overused book cover metaphor, my cover still often seems to prompt the question, where are you from? When the book finally opens and the untouched pages turn, the words inside reveal my own history book that will state where I'm really from is America, and that my story has never had any missing pieces.
going on, guys? It's your boy Rocky Sandoval, and I first and foremost want to congratulate all University of Washington Tacoma students for graduating this year. Congratulations. As an alumni of UWT, I'm very proud to do whatever I can to give back to the community and give back to the school. The song that you're about to listen to is called Today, and I'm singing it live just for you guys at your event. So shout out to everybody out there who has a dream. Hold on to the dream. Don't let anybody derail you from it, and you can do it. I'm living proof.
I done seen better days, head down right now, but I'll be okay. I guess I gotta make a change. I'm going up, there ain't no other way. Petty people gon' get in the way. Dodge 'em like a bee, look the other way. It's a new day, new mindset. Might say I got a little juice left. Be bold when you finally realize the reason that you started. So many reasons why. Think I need a little help. I can't do this by myself. I gotta lose the ego. I'm lost in the fight. Can't see the light. Don't be afraid of the night. It's where dreams come alive. I will fly. I will fly. This is my goodbye. Yeah. That's right. I'ma do it like that. That. I'ma do it like that. That. 'Cause today I'm gonna take off, shooting for the stars and won't look back. 'Cause today I'm gonna take off, shooting for the stars and won't look back. Today I toasted a team, cheers to the win. Dreams are coming true, people catching wind. Some of y'all who hate it were the best of friends. I guess success is the best revenge. When self-doubt creeps in, I close my eyes and I see the end. I can't believe that I was gonna quit. Some things are really worth the risk. Be bold when you finally realize the reason that you started. So many reasons why. I think I need a little help. I can't do this by myself. I gotta lose the ego. I'm lost in the fight. Can't see the light. Don't be afraid of the night. It's where dreams come alive. I will fly. I will fly. This is my goodbye. That's right. I'ma do it like that. That. I'ma do it like that. That. 'Cause today I'm gonna take off, shooting for the stars and won't look back. 'Cause today I'm gonna take off, shooting for the stars and won't look back. Today, cast away all my fears. At the edge I'm jumping. My vision's clear. No longer running from it. I'm all in like I can't fail. I got strength, faith, and courage. I know it'll all be worth it. Lost in the fight. Oh, I can't see the light of the night. It's where dreams come alive. I will fly. This is my goodbye. Don't know where I'm going, but I'm doing this today. Whoa. I'm gonna take off, shooting for the stars and won't look back. Doing this today. I'm gonna take off, shooting for the stars and won't look back today.
Thank you, Raylan and Rocky, for your performances and in being a part of Umoja. Now we'll be moving on, presenting our Equity and Inclusion Lifetime Achievement Award. This year, we have added a new component to Umoja, which will recognize a faculty or staff member for their outstanding accomplishments and contributions, particularly as it relates to their efforts to assist our campus in evolving racial climate, as well as fostering an educational environment that is inclusive, rich in diversity, and supportive of students pursuing their degrees. We have selected Linda Isham as the recipient of the Equity and Inclusion Lifetime Achievement Award. We are delighted to announce that we have selected Dr. Linda Isham as the first ever recipient of this special award. First, we would like to share a little bit about her background. Linda Hurley Isham is a senior lecturer in the School of Urban Studies. She holds a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Psychology and Black Studies from Wellesley College and a Master's of Business Administration degree from the Northwestern University Kellogg Graduate School of Management and a PhD in Social Welfare from the University of Washington. Dr. Isham served as the Director of Pierce County, Washington, Department of Community Services, where she was responsible for operating a public community action agency and administering arts and cultural services, housing, community development, and economic development. She has been part of faculty at UW since 2006. And in 2018, she completed her tenure serving as the Assistant Chancellor for Community Engagement at UW Tacoma. Dr. Isham has brought out the very best in faculty, staff, students, and administrators at UW Tacoma in ways that have been paralleled by very few. She has earned the trust and respect of her students and colleagues because of her integrity, staunch advocacy for social justice issues, and ability to care deeply for others. Dr. Isham has made an impact as the advisor to the Black Student Union at UW Tacoma for a number of years where her impact was most deeply felt. For years, she worked to create and nurture a campus environment that promotes the persistence, retention, and success of Black students at UWT, serving as a mentor, coach, and advocate. In this role, she has been providing strong mentorship for these students as they have led their own student organization meetings, workshops, and retreats, as well as campus-wide community building events in supporting of creating a campus life that is centered around Black issues. Dr. Isham has held UW Tacoma to higher standards by pushing our community towards taking steps that drive equity and social justice to a deeper and more meaningful levels for our community campus. Therefore, we cannot envision a more deserving recipient of the Equity and Inclusion Lifetime Achievement Award than Dr. Linda Isham. Up next, we have a montage video of Linda's accomplishments and achievements, as well as some words from close friends and colleagues. Following, Linda will be sharing a few words with us.
It is my pleasure to speak about a great friend and a colleague, Dr. Linda Isham. When we talk about lifetime of dedication to students and communities, the name of Dr. Isham stands tall in my head. She easily crosses the boundary between university and community with ease. She is humble and knowledgeable. And when it comes to humility, I have to rely on a saying in my old language. We say that the tree with the most fruit bends lower. And this describes the humility that Dr. Isham brings to her work and the knowledge that she brings with it. She has earned the trust of students, faculty, colleagues, community members, and she really has been the sort of person that everyone relies on to seek answers to questions that are difficult to answer. She mentors. I have watched her with respect. I have watched her with envy. I have watched her knowing that she's not doing this one day at a time, or doing it just once in a while, but she does it all the time. All I can tell you is that I cannot think of anyone more deserving than Dr. Isham for this award, and I wish I could grow up to be her. Congratulations, Dr. Isham. You're an amazing scholar, an amazing colleague, and a great friend. Here's to many years of success for you.
Linda Isham, congratulations on your award today for Umoja. Linda is an innovative educator for the students at the University of Washington, Tacoma. She is a dedicated public servant. Linda is a pillar of the community and one of our leading citizens. Linda is the definition of affirmational civic engagement. And she does not call in her service, she shows up. Two examples are the Tacoma Pierce County Black Collective and the American Leadership Forum. She is a member of the Tacoma Pierce County Black to the Left Collective, where she engages, coaches, and influences this perennial organization. Linda is a senior fellow of the American Leadership Forum and its incoming chairperson. The goal of the American Leadership Forum is to join and strengthen leaders in our community. But most of all, what I adore and respect about Linda is that she has the ability to face challenges with grace, a quiet sense of humor, and without fear. Congratulations on your award.
I met Dr. Linda Isham in 2006, the first year that the University of Washington Tacoma became a four-year university with first-year undergraduates. I was lucky enough to teach with her a core course for first-year students. She is, of course, an exemplary teaching scholar and a university citizen, and so much more. She taught me a lot about teaching. The students loved her, learned a lot from her, and more, she connected what students were learning with the rest of their lives and the rest of their life experience. It was my pleasure to work with Linda, and I've learned a lot about being in the world that I didn't know before. And I can think of no more deserving person for this award.
Hi, Linda. I just wanted to thank you for all of the work you've done with the freshman corps. I think taking the students to the elementary school to introduce them to some community engaged work has been important. I also am very grateful to you for taking the time to try to build connections between the University of Washington Tacoma and communities of color through your work with the Black Collective. And I just want to say thank you for simply being my friend. And as soon as the lockdown is over, I hope we'll be able to actually go out and celebrate. So, love you. Best wishes.
Okay. Well, thank you. I really appreciate this this award, this recognition. But before I formally accept, I want to congratulate all of the graduates in the room, and also every student in the room for, hanging on, persevering through the end of winter quarter and all of spring quarter. It's been really an adventure for all of us, but thank you for persisting through all of that. So back to the award. I really, really appreciate this recognition. I feel like, it's a tremendous honor to be recognized for the work I do. I do it in part to satisfy myself that I'm making an effort toward equity and inclusion. But more importantly, I don't do this work alone. I think about the proverb we're using to keynote this celebration this year. It is, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. It really has been a journey with and for and because of all of you that I do this work. But honestly, it is that I gain my inspiration from the students, other faculty members, staff members who are also doing this work. You keep me focused and on track, sometimes help me to celebrate gains, to mourn, where we fall a little behind, but it's continuing work. We're all committed to it. And honestly, I gain my inspiration from all of you. So with that, I appreciate all of you. I share this award with you, but honestly, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the recognition.
Thank you so much, Linda, for all that you have done for UW Tacoma and the grander Tacoma community. You are truly deserving of this award, and congratulations on a career of amazing achievements. Next up, we have our last performance tonight by a local Pierce County cultural group, Mata'ala. Mata'ala is a community group that serves the Polynesian high school students of Pierce County, empowering them to strive for excellence while engaging in cultural knowledge through song and dance. They have dedicated a Siva Samoa to the UWT graduating class as a congratulations on your hard work and being an example for those that will come after them.
The stars for sure, oh, we know
Thank you so much for that beautiful Siva Mata'ala. And we also want to do a shout out to all the high school seniors who finished this year as well. Congratulations. And now we'll welcome back Dr. Jimmy as we transition into recognizing our graduating students from our CEI student staff.
The Center for Equity and Inclusion cannot do its work without the talents, passions, and labors of our student employees. We are only able to create spaces of inclusion for all on our campus because our students lead the way in creating them with us. At this time, we want to honor 3 of our graduating student staff. Austin, whose passion and work have been with us for 2 years. Austin is committed to the success and flourishing of all students, especially Chamorro and all Pacific Islander students. Austin's ability to work collaboratively with people across our campus has been a real gift. His voice will be missed as he moves on to the next phase of his journey. Juju, who brings joy and hospitality with her every time she comes into the center. Juju is often the first person people see and are greeted by when they come by. We have a reputation on campus for being a space where all students, no matter who they are, feel welcome and like they belong. And Juju is the person who has often been the one to make sure that anyone who comes through our doors feels this way. And Myra, whose openness to new opportunities has made it possible for new initiatives to grow. Over Myra's time with us, she's had multiple jobs and she's continued to support student equity and inclusion in each role. Recently, I was able to hear several students express their gratitude to her for how she helped them succeed this year. That's her legacy here at UWT. I want to say thank you to each of our graduating student staff. We will miss each of you, but we're very excited. We're so excited for what's coming next.
Thank you for those kind remarks, Dr. McCarthy. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our very own keynote speaker, Stefan Harris. Stefan Harris is the Associate Director of New Student and Family Programs at the University of Washington, Tacoma. After graduating from St. Martin's University, he was drawn to education with a "I've got nothing to lose" approach and has been in education ever since. It began in college admissions, to work in college access programming, to support and underserved high school students through multicultural outreach. He's an advocate for mentorship and the development of youth through education and athletics, specifically for men of color, and wants to build stronger relationships between families and colleges. Lastly, he wants every student to understand their why when it comes to college. His belief that all things are possible when you know people are given an equitable opportunity is what drives his passions today. A few points of pride. Stefan's oldest daughter just graduated high school and is excited for her college transition. He's also from Sacramento, California, and roots for the Sacramento Kings. Stefan is also completing a Master's of Education for Practicing Educators program in the Social Emotional Learning track here at UW Tacoma. So not only is he our keynote speaker for tonight, he is also a graduating student that we would like to recognize in this celebration. Stefan, on a personal level, I truly appreciate your leadership as a Black man on the UW Tacoma campus. You're paving the way for Black men such as myself and guiding us to navigate the realms of leadership within higher education.
Again, my name is Stefan Harris, and I've had the privilege to serve and work with some of you graduating this year. Thank you for having me. Before I begin, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our current state of affairs. Like many of you, my heart is heavy. I'm sad, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, confused, and I still find myself trying to find the right words to express. But I know this, as a community, we will remain together, we are together, and I take solace in that. Each of us have our own ideas and express them in different ways, but acting on those ideas requires participation by many people. Think of it like a team. If everyone on the team tries to be solo, they're labeled as individuals. But if everybody comes together, it's a thing of beauty. See, relationships matter, cultural values matter, and respect matters. At this time, we band together. We are unified. It doesn't have to be structured or organized, but it can be. Everyone in our community is responsible for one another. And by working together, we will achieve great things. That's what we're here for this evening. And that's what Umoja is all about, unity. So as we are all gathered here virtually, I want you to celebrate yourself. You've hit a milestone, you've hit a goal, you've reached the end of this journey. So I want you to celebrate yourself. And I also want you to celebrate with your family or your friends or whomever else you deem supported you. You're here, you made it. Show a lot of love to yourself because you deserve it and you need it. This is a major accomplishment for all of you. I also want you to remain inspired, and I also want you to show love to those people who did inspire you, who pushed you, who hated on you, and stuck with you every step of the way, and those that also lifted you up. So the next thing that I would love for you to do is I want you to say to yourself, I rocked it, and it feels good. Go ahead, I'll wait. So you see, graduates, I see you. From the start, you knew it would be hard. You knew there would be sleepless days and nights. You knew there would be some emotion, whether it be joy, sadness, or even fear. You knew that you would be anxious. You knew there would be self-doubt. And you also knew that there may be moments where you gave up. You knew that finances were a struggle. You knew you were going to have to fight and laugh and sing and overcome. Graduates, I see you. You have vision. See, vision is your inspiration, your framework. It's a vivid mental image to articulate your dreams and hopes toward the future. I'm sure when you began this academic year, your vision was clear. You were excited, joyful, maybe even nervous, but you were ready to be done, I'm sure. You were ready to share all the triumphs and faults with friends, advisors, mentors, classmates. It was coming fast, and you were really excited for it. I know as I finished my graduate program, I'm feeling the same way you are. I was so ready to be done, so ready. And so when you start the quarter, you go through it, you have all these emotions and thoughts. You get to midterms. You're like, okay, we're almost there. And then you get to week 10, finals. And you pass those finals. And then you're done. For some, you finished in your first quarter with school. For others, you had one more quarter or you had two more quarters until you were completely done. And then you're saying to yourself, whew, I'm glad I am done with this part. I made it through this particular quarter. And then what happens? You get ready for winter. And mind you, you've already started that process of preparing for winter quarter because you had to meet with your advisor, or if you didn't meet with your advisor, you had to find those classes for winter quarter. So you had already started thinking winter even when you were in autumn quarter. So winter quarter begins. You have these similar feelings. As winter tends to be, it's gray, it's dark, the days feel much longer, and you're probably thinking, when is this going to end? But guess what? you survive. You survived into midterms, you survived into finals, and you survived passing your finals. And so now you may be thinking, ooh, I'm done. Or I've got one more quarter. And then what happens? Your 2020 vision became unclear. See, I had vision too. When I was younger, I was taught family is everything, and they would always be there. When I say family, I mean not just your immediate family. I mean your real friends, those communities that show value or that you deem valuable to you, those communities that lift you up, those communities that you either come from or they're not with you. People that may have passed, all of that. That's my definition of family. See, I had a vision. I wasn't going to be a father at 20. I had a vision. I would go straight to college and finish in 4 years on an athletic scholarship and begin doing something that I had no idea what I was going to do. But I knew that my goal was to finish and my vision was to finish. I had a vision that I would move to another state to live. I did do that though. So that's one thing. But my vision was blurred. Because I was a father at 20, school was no longer at the forefront for me, or what I thought was the forefront. Taking care of my daughter was the main thing, and I lost sight of what my original vision was. During a 2.5-year period, a hiatus, if you want to call it that, where I didn't go to school, it was all about taking care of my responsibility. And I had forgotten that I had family who was there, family who could understand, family who could feel what I was going through or what I was going through. And they also understood that no one is perfect. We all make mistakes. And not everything gets done correctly or right the first time. And family has a way of bringing you back to reality and tightening you up. So when in a potential fatal car accident, when friends were killed, when family passes away, when arguments happen, when dad gets locked up, when self-doubt creeps in, when your pockets are empty, when you feel like an imposter, when you move to a new state, when you get married, when being a person of color is a problem, when you're arrested, when your plan doesn't work out, when you don't agree about what major to choose or why you wanted to or needed to go back to school, when your group project is just you, when you pass that final, or even when you graduate, family is there. Now, I may have missed some things, but graduates, I want you to know that I see you. See, I thought 2020 vision was supposed to be a good thing. I know 2020 is not the vision we saw coming. It has altered our relationships, our jobs, our livelihood, our celebrations, and has shown us just how much more work our nation needs done to protect the Black lives and other people of color. I will say, we can treat this moment with opportunity. Learn more, to love harder, to feel more connected, to support, to visualize or re-envision what our next phases are. Our vision may not always be clear, and that's okay. But remember, hindsight is 2020. Graduates and families, I see you and I congratulate you. As a father of a 2020 high school graduate and 2 younger children, I have a responsibility to guide and support them and instill in them the pride of being a person of color. By no means is this the end for you, though. I want you to maintain that vision that you set. I want you to remember that family is there. It is very important for us to think about who we are becoming, and who are the people that we have with us. Who are we bringing with us, both behind us and in front of us? I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your passion, for your diligence, for your persistence, for your joy, for your love. You deserve this. You may have been through a lot of things, but just know that this is something that you deserve. And remember, we are all in this transition together, whether it be into a career, whether it be going to graduate school or another way. Remember that people are always with you. You always have somebody with you. And if I say nothing else, or if you get nothing else from this, remember that you all have the opportunity, you all have the drive, you all have the determination, and you all have family. Again, I thank you for your time. Go Dogs.
Thank you so much, Stefan, for your kind, encouraging words. Again, so sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're back. Thank you for the work that you do for our students and for showing up for us. And thanks for keeping me accountable and making sure I turned my grad application in on time. Now we will be moving on to the part we've all been waiting for, celebration of our graduating class of 2020. We want to recognize the commitment and sacrifices and challenges you all faced, and know that this moment right now, it has all paid off. You all worked very hard, and your family here at the CEI are very, very proud of you.
We recognize this is a community achievement, not for one, but for all of us. We understand the importance of community, especially these days. We hope that this achievement is something that you take with you and know you did it, not just for yourself, but for the future generations to come after you.
Quiero agradecer a mi familia, a mis sobrinos, a mis hermanas, a mi cuñado Antonio, pero especialmente a mi hermana Yanel, que siempre creyó en mí. I would like to thank the Clearman family that embraced me and made me one of their own. I would like to thank members of the UWT community that supported me during my time at UW Tacoma. A huge thank you to Dr. James McShay, Dr. Deidre Raynor, Dr. Marianne Harris, and Dr. Michelle Montgomery for mentoring and guiding me. The pro staff from the Center for Equity and Inclusion, and pro staff from the Center for Student Involvement. I am very grateful.
So I want to take the time and do 2 big shout outs to 2 amazing groups. Specifically my Apizu family and our advisors, Nedra and Tyler. Apizu has been in my family for the last 4 years at UW Tacoma. And my second shout out is career development. I've been with career development for the last 3 years, and with the people who work there, I want to specifically give shout outs to Catherine Phelps, Beverly Berry, and Mine Her. All these groups of people have really influenced my my time at UW Tacoma, really supported me with everything I've gone through. So I just want to give a huge shout out to all these people.
I just want to say thank you to my family, my friends, my parents, my girlfriend, Maida, and all the staff, faculty at UWT that has helped me get to where I am today. So thank you all very much.
I want to thank my mom, my dad, my siblings, my ROTC program, my unit, for helping to ensure that I was set up for success. All of these organizations and my family have done an amazing job of creating, helping me to create a better sense of community and to be able to reach my goals.
Hello, my name is Cassandra Green. I would like to thank my parents, my sister Grace for motivating me to continue my education, my niece Hazel for always encouraging me and looking up to me, and then the surgeon who brought back my eyesight because I wouldn't have been able to continue my education without them during my sophomore year. And in the Global Honors Program because I was able to find answers for the questions I had about our society.
And that concludes our Umoja celebration. Thank you all for joining us. Stay safe and have a great night.